On the night of May 29, a drone attack took place in the Russian capital, Moscow. Local telegram channels reported this. The mayor of the capital, Sergei Sobyanin, said that the air defense system was activated and Ukrainian kamikaze drones were shot down, and the remains of the drone fell on the territory of the Mirax Park residential complex, damaging the building. It is said that there were no casualties. The remains of another drone damaged a car in the Moscow region. The Russian Defense Ministry reported that 48 drones were shot down overnight. 3 of them were shot down in the Moscow region, 30 in the Belgorod region, 4 in the Oryol region, 4 in the Ryazan region, 4 over Crimea, 2 in the Bryansk region, and 1 in the Tambov region. Several airports, including Moscow, have temporarily suspended operations due to the drone attacks.
Смотри, как спать. Ой, хорошо.
Ukrainian defense forces have struck key facilities producing drones, missiles and explosive components in Russia's Moscow and Ivanovo regions, the General Staff of Ukrainian Armed Forces reported on Wednesday. The Special Operations Forces of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and the Security Service of Ukraine, SBU, carried out joint operation in Dubno City in Moscow region to strike Kronstadt joint stock company that specializes in unmanned aerial systems. In particular, it produces the Orion, Inokodets, Molniya, Grom, Termit, Helios, Sirius UAVs, and ground control systems. The General Staff reported that there is confirmation of the destruction of the facility despite intensive work of Russian air defense system. In a separate attack in the same location, the SBU unit struck the Raduga plant, which produces cruise missiles of various classes, air-to-air, air-to-ground, ground-to-ground. Among the plant's products are the KH-101/555, KH-69, KH-59MK used in Russian strikes on civilian population and civilian targets across Ukraine. In addition, SBS units of the Armed Forces of Ukraine hit Angstrom Joint Stock Company in Moscow region. The company develops and produces a microelectronic component base, widely used by enterprises of the military-industrial complex of Russia. In yet another attack the day before, the Ukrainian Armed Forces Unmanned Systems Forces successfully attacked the Dmitrovsky plant in Russia's Ivanovo region. Explosions were recorded on the territory of the plant. The enterprise produces organic chemicals, components of explosives and gunpowder, as well as additives to rocket and aviation fuel. It supplies products to a number of other enterprises of the Russian military-industrial complex. Ukrainian army has scaled up attacks on facilities linked to Russia's military industry. Ukrainian army has re-entered Russia's border Kursk region and will remain there until the ceasefire is reached, President Volodymyr Zelensky said while addressing journalists on Tuesday. Zelensky revealed that Ukrainian troops withdrew from one area and entered another area in Kursk region, adding that 8 Russian soldiers were taken hostage in Tyatkino in Kursk on May 27. On the same day, Ukrainian air forces struck a Russian army position in Kursk region with F-16 fighter jet and US-made GBU-39 aerial bombs, according reports in Telegram channels. Elsewhere, Zelensky said Russian forces are continuing their offensive operations along the front lines and are currently amassing more than 50,000 troops near Ukraine's Sumy region. Regarding the Sumy front, their strongest and most concentrated forces are currently positioned in the Kursk area. Their goal is to push our troops out of there and prepare for offensive actions in Sumy region, to create what they call a 10 km deep buffer zone inside Ukraine. I believe they understand they lack the capacity to achieve this, the Ukrainian president said. Zelensky noted that Ukrainian forces faced difficulties near Pokrovsk, specifically in the village of Kostantinivka, but reported successful combat in that area. He said that Ukrainian defense forces have pushed the Russians back by 4 kilometers on that section over the past 2 days. Zelensky's comments about Kursk came a month after the Russian Defense Ministry announced that Ukrainian troops were fully withdrawn from Kursk. Kiev had denied Russia's claims back then, claiming that Ukrainian troops were retaining a position in the border region. Last week Vladimir Putin said Russian army forces were creating a security buffer zone along the border with Ukraine. The announcement was made days after Putin's visit to Kursk region.